Next, we're going to look at dividing polynomials. Why would we need to divide polynomials? Well, we're finding the quotient of two polynomials to solve problems. So by breaking down the polynomial into smaller, more manageable pieces, we'll be able to solve the problems in a quicker way. Now, quadratics are very common polynomials, so they're often going to be seen in problems, and we may be dividing them by linear factors to factor completely. So first we're going to be dividing this cubic function by a linear function. So we have 3x cubed minus 5x squared minus 7x minus 1, and we're going to divide by x minus 3. Now we can divide using synthetic division, or we can divide using long division. We're going to use both in this lesson. First, I'm going to show you how to divide using long division. Afterwards, we'll try some examples with synthetic. So because we are dividing by x minus 3, we have x minus 3 here. And then here we'll have 3x cubed minus 5x squared minus 7x minus 1. So the first thing you're going to ask yourself, we're going to take 3x cubed and divide it by x. So you're going to ask yourself, what do I have to multiply x by to get 3x cubed? Well, the answer would be 3x squared, so we're going to write that up top. Now we're going to take 3x squared, we're going to multiply it by x minus 3, and then we're going to write our answer at the bottom. Okay, so we're multiplying it by x minus 3. When we multiply by x minus 3, we get 3x cubed minus 9x squared. Okay, so divide, multiply. Now we're going to subtract. So 3x cubed minus 3x cubed is just 0. You can write a 0 or you can just leave it blank. And then negative 5x squared minus 9x squared. What does that give me? That's going to give me 4x squared. Okay, and then the next step, we're going to bring down. So it's the same basic long division steps that you used in elementary school. So now we have minus 7x, and we're going to start the entire process again. So we're going to take 4x squared minus 7x, and we're going to do 4x squared divided by x, which gives us 4x. Now we're going to multiply 4x by x minus 3. And we get 4x squared minus 12x. Now we're going to subtract. So 4x squared minus 4x squared is 0. And then negative 7x minus negative 12x. We get 5x, and then bring down the negative 1. So we're going to take 5x divided by x, and we get 5. Then we're going to take 5 and multiply it by x minus 3, and we get 5x minus 15, and then we're going to subtract 5x minus 5x is 0, so you can leave it blank. Negative 1 minus negative 15, we get 14. There's nothing else to bring down, so this 14 is in fact our remainder. So we would say that When we divide, we're left with x minus 3 because that's what we divided by. And then 3x cubed. What else would we have? We would have plus 4x plus 5. Sorry, this is squared. And then our remainder. So think of this as the product. So if we multiply these and add 14, we would end up with 3x cubed minus 5x squared minus 7x minus 1. Okay, so we found the quotient. This is our divisor. This is our quotient. This is our remainder. Okay, so this is a divisor. Our quotient. And our remainder. This is our dividend. So this is what is being divided. Okay, so this process can be lengthy. We're going to look at using synthetic division for the next question. When you use synthetic division, you should get the same answer. So let's actually try the same question. So I'm just going to write it here. 3x cubed minus 5x squared minus 7x minus 1. And we're dividing by x minus 3. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to try this question again using synthetic division. So when we use synthetic division, we're going to follow the same steps every time, and we're going to use something called the ladder. Okay, so we're going to set up our ladder here, and our ladder is just this L shape. Now when we draw our ladder, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the divisor, and we're going to take, in other words, our x-intercept, and we're going to write it on the outside. Remember, we need to change the sign, so on the outside we're going to have 3. Afterwards, we're going to look at the dividend, and we're going to take the coefficients of the dividend, and they're going to go on our ladder. Now, what you need to remember with this one is, if I had a question where I had 3x cubed minus 7x minus 1, well, I have the degree of 3, I have the degree of 1, and then I have a coefficient. I'm missing the degree of 2. So if that happens, what it really means is here there's a plus 0x squared. So we still have to include that 0 as the coefficient. So just keep that in mind for synthetic division, and really for any division. So we are going to write down 3, negative 5, negative 7, and negative 1. Okay, those are the coefficients. First thing we're going to do, you're going to carry down the first number. So what that means is we're going to take this first number 3 and write it at the bottom. Next, you're going to take your factor of 3 and multiply it by 3. That gives us 9. We're going to take that 9 and write it underneath the negative 5. And then the last step, we're going to add them together. So negative 5 plus 9 gives me 4. We're going to repeat the same process. So now we have a 4 at the bottom. We're going to multiply 3 by 4, which is 12. And then add negative 7 and 12. And we get 5. And then do this process one last time. So 3 times 5 gives me 15. We add them together. -1 plus 15 gives me 14. Now, anytime you divide, you're going to look at your dividend. Our dividend is to the power of 3. So when you're writing your answer, it's always going to start with 1 less degree. So if our degree for the dividend is 3, well, when we write our answer, we're going to start with x squared. So it's going to be 3x squared plus 4x. So we're just going in descending order now. Plus 5. And now we don't have room for any more coefficients because we're going in descending order. So that could be the 4th degree, 3rd degree, in this case, 2nd degree, then 1st degree, then a coefficient. The last remaining number then would be our remainder. So if it's a remainder of 14, the way we'll write our final answer, just like above, we have x minus 3 times 3x squared plus 4x plus 5 plus 14. So as you can see, we got the exact same answer. So you decide what you're comfortable with. Many students prefer the synthetic method, but it's completely up to you. Okay, so for this next one, we're going to prove that 2x plus 3 is a factor of 6x cubed plus 5x squared minus 16x minus 15. What does that mean to prove that it's a factor? When we're proving that it's a factor, that means it could be divided into the dividend without a remainder. So for example, if I divide 7 by 3, well, we get 2 and a remainder of 1. So it's not a factor. But if I were to divide 6 by 3, we get 2 and there's no remainder. So we would say that 3 is a factor of 6. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to check if there's a remainder when we divide 2x plus 3 into 6x cubed plus 5x squared minus 16x minus 15. So if there is no remainder, it's a factor. For this one, I'm going to use long division, but once again, it's up to you what you would like to use. So we have 6x cubed plus 5x squared minus 16x minus 15. Okay, so first thing, we're going to take 6x cubed divided by 2x, and we get 3x squared. Then we're going to multiply 3x squared by 2x plus 3, and we get 6x cubed plus 9x squared. Now we need to subtract, so we get 0 and negative 4x squared. Okay, so now we're going to bring down the negative 16x. And we're going to start this process all over again. So negative 4x squared divided by 2x gives me negative 2x. Then we're going to multiply and we get negative 4x squared minus 6x. Now we're going to subtract. So we get 0 and then we get negative 10x. We're going to bring down the negative 15. One more time. So negative 10x divided by 2x gives me negative 5. I'm going to multiply negative 5 by 2x plus 3. And we get negative 10x minus 15. When we subtract, we get 0 and 0. So therefore, 2x plus 3 is a factor. Now, the question says, what are the other factors? Well, in order to find what the other factors are, so we have 2x plus 3 times 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. Now, we can determine what the other factors are by using 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. What we're going to do, we're going to take this trinomial and we're going to factor it. Okay, we're going to factor it. So you can use whatever method you want. If you want to use product sum, that would be two numbers that add to give us -2, multiply to give us -15. I'll give you a moment to factor, and then you can put your answer in the video. So you would get -5 plus 3, and then we have 3x squared plus 3x minus 5x minus 5. Then we can use grouping. Once again, it's completely up to you how you want to factor. So if we take out 3x here, we would have x plus 1. And then if we take out the -5 here, we'd have x plus 1. So we're left with 3x minus 5 and x plus 1. So those are the other factors with 2x plus 3. So these are the factors. Okay. So we factored using long division, and then we took our trinomial and we further factored it.